Okay, so I had the idea to start a video log series, a little digital diary, if you will, sitting here talking in the car like everyone else does, and it's a simple video production style. I don't have the patience for video editing and sitting on the computer and cutting clips together. Um, I find that this is a lot simpler, and I will be uploading mostly videos of live performances, my songs, and stuff on this channel, but I thought it would be cool to have these other side videos talking about the music industry as a whole, the entertainment industry, my experiences in that, and basically telling stories about my time being a current performing musician living in Los Angeles. I'm an LA native. I was born and raised here, and LA County is a very large area. I was very lucky to grow up in a part of it where I had a lot of different opportunities and could go a lot of different places. And I'm at a point now in my life where I have enough experience where I think I can start to talk about the things that I've seen, the things that I've done, and hopefully that someone watching these videos would get something out of it. So I thought I'd do a couple of 5, 10, 15-minute videos as they come up, and just talk about it really quickly and see if anyone could benefit from that. So what better way to start out with talking about something that we all deal with? I dealt with it, for many, many years. I'm still not completely over it, but that's stage fright and performance anxiety and issues around, the fear of putting yourself out there, opening yourself up to criticism, putting yourself in situations where you could embarrass yourself. I have, maybe you have, it happens. And that's okay. It's something that we all deal with. And the thing is it does get better with time. The more you do it, I avoided it for a very long time. I took a hiatus from playing live music for several years, and it took me a long time to finally gather up the courage to come back into it. And this is basically a good time to tell the story of how I became a musician and how I started playing live. There's a guy walking his dog over there who's looking at me. I'm just gonna pop up wherever, whenever I want to do these videos. I feel like I pull off to the side of the road and just get my thoughts out there and get them down, as quickly as possible, and then just upload it and make it as easy. It's easy to do it that way. I don't feel like doing any sort of like professional production or special like clip-on microphones. I don't want to do any of that. Right now, I am 29. I just turned 29 a few months ago. I'm a November baby, Valentine's Day baby. And I've been playing live music now for 10 years. I started when I was 19. I was in a jam band, garage band with my friends. It was a very typical starting point for a lot of people. I had a couple of friends from school that we were all musicians, and eventually I got approached by one of them to see, my buddy asked me, hey, can you play bass with us? He had already been in this band, and a couple of people, when you're at that young age, you go away for college or you move towns for work, or, one guy in this band went away to the military. So they lost some members, and he knew that I played and goes, hey, can you play bass with us? And I go, well, yeah, sure. I had a lot of experience playing guitar. What's playing a little bit of bass, So I went and got a 4-string bass from my old guitar teacher who was getting rid of some gear. And we started jamming. We played in the garage, and it was like our routine was every Friday we would get together in my friend's garage, get high as balls, and go in his bedroom studio. It was his bedroom where he had a MacBook Pro from like 2010 that barely held a charge and needed to be plugged in all the time. How many of you have experienced something like that? We had a lot of fun. We eventually got to a point where we did start playing some gigs. We did original material, but when we started playing live, we learned some covers too. And that was the beginning of my experience. We played like a Super Bowl football backyard party. Everything was word of mouth. A friend got us that gig. One of the guys in the band at the time was a dishwasher at this restaurant, and the owner was looking to hire bands, and he goes, hey, well, I'm in a band. Can we play your, So it was very humble, simple beginnings. Most people start off in cover bands, but we did a mix of covers and originals. We liked the progressive rock and jazz fusion stuff. We were heavily influenced by Pink Floyd and King Crimson and Mahavishnu Orchestra, Frank Zappa, like, Chick Corea, Return to Forever, all those guys. And that was the beginning. I was 19 when I started doing that. And then a couple years down the line, I got a girlfriend, and our work schedule started to change. We slowly, we stopped playing gigs together, but we were still jamming. And then we were jamming a little bit less and less. And then by and large, we got to a point where we just weren't playing anymore at all. And I'm still in touch with these guys. We're still good friends. We just, our lives, it happens. Things slowly fizzle out. Life moves on. That's very common in this industry, in the music industry, is to, and life in general, nothing lasts. But at that point, when I was around 21 years old, I had a family friend who was playing in a cover band, who had been playing in cover bands for a very long time. And he was a lot older than me. He was around the same age as my parents, actually a little older than them. But I was like my parents and had the same music taste as them. So, we got along, me and this family friend, we liked a lot of the same music, and I went and saw him play one time, and I, half jokingly, half serious, when they were on break, he came up and was talking with us, and I said, "Oh, it sounds like you guys sound really good, but you maybe sound like you could use a keyboard player." And he goes, "Oh, do you play keyboards?" And I would go, "Yeah, well, yeah, I'm a musician." And he's like, "Oh, I didn't know you played keyboard." And conversation rolled on from there, and I joined this new cover band that he was playing in, where they said they needed, again, a bass player. Bands always need bass players. If you play bass, or you can learn to play bass, do it. You'll have a lot easier time getting your foot in the door with bands, and then eventually you can start playing other instruments and branching out. But yeah, I started playing in that, and that was exclusively covers. And this family friend of mine had connections locally for breweries and restaurants and bars and places where he did all the booking. He took care of it. All I had to do was show up to rehearsals and show up to the gigs on time. And I was 21 and starting to learn how the industry worked. That same family friend had another cover band he had been playing in a while. So I went from that first cover band, which didn't last very long. We eventually stopped playing after like a year or two together. Transitioned to this other cover band, and I'm still playing with those guys today, all these years later. But right around late 2019, early 2020, I started to have some problems where I had it from the very beginning, but I managed to muscle through it. But I had a lot of problems with stage fright, and it didn't go away with time. It stayed bad. It was really difficult for me, as I'm sure it's difficult for some of you. Maybe you want to play live, or you have played live one time and it was so scary that you're like, fuck this, I can't do it. Like, it's just too taxing on me. And it started to take a toll on me. I wasn't really talking about it with anyone. I had mentioned it in passing to some bandmates that, hey, like, I'm nervous, because we're setting up and I'm just like trying to get in the zone. And, playing at breweries and microbreweries, those pop-ups and places like that, the drinks were complimentary. So I became a beer snob, beer slut. I love IPAs. I love, porters and stouts and all the like, ales, lagers. I love it all. Love me a flight. I love a pint. And that's some pretty strong beer. And I wasn't talking about the anxiety problems that I had with playing live. So the way that I coped with it was drinking. It's a tale as old as time. So many people have resorted to, substances to deal with their problems. And I started to see a trend in that with myself. I started to get really scared, man. I had family members and a family history of alcohol abuse, and I had watched the way it just affected some people and how they lost control, and I just didn't want to become like that. In late 2019, early 2020, I started to take a step back, and I wasn't pushing the band to try and book more gigs, but everyone else was. And I told them, well, hey, I'm gonna start to explore like recording music. I hadn't recorded at home at all, and had very little experience doing that. Wanted to pursue it more, and as luck would have it, March 2020, here in Los Angeles, the lockdown happened, and all of a sudden, no more gigs. It in a really weird, sick way, I was happy for COVID, and the fact that it put everyone inside their houses, and it gave me an opportunity to kind of avoid the thing that was starting to cause this alcohol problem for me. And I have a very healthy relationship with substances now, because I was able to take a step back and really evaluate what I wanted and what was, causing me to consume it in an unhealthy manner. I didn't get to a point where it was like I became an alcoholic or anything, but it definitely was something that I had to address. And when everyone was locked down at the homes, I had the perfect, legitimate excuse to say, "Hey, well, I'm I'm not gigging anymore. I'm not playing live. I was too scared, but I didn't have to admit that because I could say, well, no one's playing live, no one's playing gigs, no one's doing anything." And so for the next 4 years, from 2020 to 2024, I just stayed home and recorded. I occasionally would jam with friends, maybe once in a blue moon, but I family and friends would always talk to me and they'd be like, "Hey, so once live music started happening again, a couple years into it, family and friends would be like, so are you gonna start playing live again? What's going on? You were so good, and we loved seeing you play. We loved coming out. What are you doing?" And I lied to myself. I lied to them, and I said, "No, I'm prioritizing recording at home." And I did my first EP in 2020 during lockdown. How many other people did that? It was very like therapeutic for me to finally be in a safe, enclosed space, not exposing myself to anyone, and it felt really good to just do my own thing. And for years, I just kept on saying the same thing and telling people, "Hey, this is what I want to do. I don't want to do live anymore. I want to do my own thing. I'm kind of just doing music for myself. I don't need validation from anyone playing music, which we all lie to ourselves. It was all BS. I definitely wanted to play live. I felt the draw to it because everyone around me was encouraging me to do it, and it was really good for me to put myself out there and play live. And I had a separate family friend, not the same one as before, who from 2023, till 24, when I started playing again, was always constantly hounding me. It became like a running gag. He's like, "So when are you gonna play bass with me in my band? When are you gonna play with us? We're looking for a new whatever." He kept mentioning it, and it made me a little uncomfortable because I wasn't ready yet. Mentally, was not I was not rid of the fear. I still was scared to return. I didn't want to be up on a stage in front of everyone. The anxiety still, just even the thought of getting back on stage in front of people made me like want to cry. It was bad. I mean, we all deal with anxiety, and we all deal with those tendencies to want to kind of retreat and go back to a safe place. And but I would still go to those gigs, and I had an open invite to join that band basically anytime I wanted. And he started backing off, and he realized that I wasn't taking the bait, and he left it open, and he said, "If you ever change your mind, just let me know." And then kind of gave me some space to think about it. And I went and saw their band play and was just in the crowd, just hanging out with friends and family. And I got to a point where I was watching them play, and I started to be honest with myself and go, you know what? They're smiling, they're happy, they're having a good time. I miss that. It was a hard thing to do. We all lie to ourselves, and we believe those lies more than the lies that other people tell us, or the lies that we tell other people. Little white lies to big lies. The lies we tell ourselves are so much easier to believe. Everyone loves their own brand. But I was able to finally, after many years of just being shut in and anxious, I was able to look at them and honestly say, you know what? I miss that. I want that. And I told this friend, I go, "Look, I'd love to, I don't know if the offer still stands, but I'd love to, maybe I can be like a fill-in guy, maybe I can, if another band member can't make it, I'll fill in for them, and I won't be like a full-time member. I'll just chime in whenever you need me." And he said, "Yeah, great, okay." And that first opportunity to fill in for someone came in May of 2024. And that was my first time returning to live music I took 4 years off. And those 4 years were dark, man. It was scary. I was anxious to return. I was, stuck in my own head about what may or may not happen. Being afraid of those what ifs. What if they don't like me? What if they laugh? What if I mess up? I still mess up every gig I go and play. I make little mistakes, and the thing I realize is that most people don't notice. Most people aren't paying attention enough, and if they do, they're probably other musicians who are over analyzing more than everyone else. So I after 4 years, I finally made a return, and I was very nervous that first time, but I muscled through it, and it ended up paying dividends later on, because from then on, maybe once a month or once every other month, I was able to fill in this band. And from there, I finally started to get comfortable playing live, getting comfortable with being uncomfortable. I still deal with stage fright. I still deal with anxiety about performing in front of people, and that's an ongoing thing. I manage it a lot better now. Talking about it with people really helped. Avoiding that topic for a long time was not good. If you're not talking about issues like that you have, you should find someone that you feel safe with, who you can talk to, even if that means just going online and leaving a comment on someone's video, or a video like this, or whatever. And exposure, I guess it was exposure therapy, just taking a leap of faith and starting to play live again, and hoping that it would work out and I wouldn't be as anxious as I thought it would be. And I was nervous, but I wasn't as nervous as I thought it would be. It was not easier than I thought. It still is very hard. Gigging live is very hard. I'll probably make a video in the future talking about the difficulties of playing live, like logistics, but also the mental game of it. It's a lot like golf in the game. I played on my high school team, and I still play today recreationally, but there's the physical aspect of it, which is very difficult. Loading in gear, loading out, making the time, sacrificing your money to pay for all the gear, but also the mental game, getting your head in the game before playing around, or before playing a gig. It's the same thing, and there are a lot of things that there's a lot of overlap, but I think that's something that a lot of people can relate to, maybe if you have experience with things like that or not. The mental game is half the battle, or more than half the battle. It just depends on the person. For me, it was most of the battle. Physically, I had been playing long enough to where I didn't doubt my skills or anything. I play well enough. Guitar and bass, I plateaued a long time ago, but I'm happy at the skill level I'm at. And I can play these gigs, and I can learn the songs I want to learn. I can write my own songs. And that's been a really great experience. But you're not alone if you have felt anxiety about performing live. If that's ever held you back, I can't stress enough that you can beat it. And beating it doesn't necessarily mean the anxiety will go away. Everyone's different. Maybe it might still be there for you if you get back into playing live like me, or you took a long time off, or maybe you want to start, and just that fear, it's like you can't get any momentum going for getting started. I would totally understand, and there's a lot of people who would identify with that as well. But it is possible, and you can manage that anxiety. You can find a way to deal with it. There are a lot of therapy really helps. I did everything on my own without therapy. I probably would have gotten to this point a lot sooner if I had, but I'm happy now. And it's never too late to start seeking out counseling if that's something that you would need. And everyone's needs are different, but for people who act, for people who do any sort of performance art, reading poetry, writing songs, playing music, any sort of live performance in front of any level of crowd, I'm as nervous playing in front of 3 or 4 people as I am playing in front of 70 or 80 or 100. It's no different for me, but I've gotten to a point where I learned to expect the anxiety and the fear, and it feels good afterwards. The feeling is worth it. You can get over that, or learn to live with it and manage it if that's something you're struggling with. It's something I struggled with and still struggle with, but you're not alone in that if that's something that you've felt, and it's something that's very difficult. I missed out on my passion of playing live music for 4 years because I was so afraid. But I finally started to get angry and at that anxiety, and said, you know what? No, like I'm done feeling this way. I don't want to be anxious. I don't want to be I don't want to be scared, and I'm going to fight this. For me, it took getting mad, and now I'm at a place where I'm really happy with. So uh, I've been doing live solo acoustic gigs for a little over a year now, and I never ever would have gotten to that point if I hadn't taken a leap of faith and confronted and lived with the anxiety of playing live, acknowledging it, recognizing it, calling it out when it's there. And calling it out can be as simple as just talking to a friend or someone who you trust, or maybe another musician friend, another creative friend. Maybe you're a musician but you have a friend who's a writer. Talk with them about it. Just talk with someone about it. Maybe get on some forums or like Reddit or something and make a post, or leave a comment on someone's post about your feelings, and connect with someone in some kind of way. And that would be the first step towards true change. That's what worked for me. That was my experience. I'm at 21 minutes now. I'm going a little over. These videos, I figure, will be around 10 to 20 minutes long, something like that, when I do them. So stay tuned for the next one. I have a lot of other things I want to talk about, music related, entertainment industry related, story time. So all of that will be coming up in the future at some point, whenever I have time to make another video like this. So if you've been watching, especially if you made it to the end of this video, thank you very much. Any problems that you have, just know that it's totally normal. You're not alone. These things happen. They're to be expected. If you've got a lot of fear about playing live in front of people, what you got ain't nothing new. And that's not to minimize your experience. It's to let you know that there are avenues and paths forward. There are ways you can get out of that. I did. And if anything that I say, or any story I can tell, sharing my experience, can put someone on that path, then sitting here in my car talking for that amount of time was worth it. So if you've made it to the end, thank you very much. And hopefully I'll see you again in the next video. Take care.